Hello students, myself Professor Jaya Agrawal from Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering, Nigdi, Pune. In today's lecture, we are going to study about superposition theorem. Superposition theorem is a very important theorem in viewpoint of circuit analysis. It is generally used to obtain the Thevenin's and the Norton's equivalent circuit of a given network. Let us proceed. How do we apply superposition theorem and what are the outcomes of that superposition theorem? Now, first comes the statements of superposition theorem. It states that in a linear active bilateral network having more than one source, the response, that means the voltage or the current across any element, is the sum of the responses obtained from each source considered separately and all other sources replaced by their internal resistance. Now, what does this mean actually? Suppose I have a network here and it consists of two sources, E1 and E2. Both the sources are voltage sources, and I have three resistances, R1, R2 and R3. And it is given that we have to find out the current flowing through these three resistors when both the sources are present. So generally we can apply KVL, or that is KVL or mesh analysis, to calculate the current. So let us now try to understand how can we apply superposition theorem to this particular network, or what does superposition theorem states. According to superposition theorem, if I have to calculate the current flowing through these three resistors when both the sources are present, rather than considering uh, both the sources together, what can be done is, in step number 1 we can consider, for example, E1 acting alone and E2 will be replaced by its internal resistance, and the current flowing through these three resistors will be find out. In the second step, what will be done is, E2 will be considered, E2 will be activated, and E1 will be deactivated or replaced by its internal resistance, and again the three currents will be find out. And the next step, according to superposition theorem, then the total current due to both the sources will be the summation of the currents obtained in step number 1 and step number 2. As you can understand from the previous explanation, that for super for application of superposition theorem, it is very necessary that the network must have at least two sources, two or more than two sources. It is not necessary that both the sources should be voltage source or current source. It can be a voltage source or a current source, or two voltage source, or two as in possible. Okay, so we'll see how to apply superposition theorem to a particular network step by step. Here it is written that when we deactivate one source, what is done is, deactivating of voltage source means replacing by its internal resistance. If it is a practical voltage source, we will replace it by its internal resistance, and if internal resistance is not given, then we'll consider that it is a ideal current source. And as you all know that the ideal internal resistance of an ideal voltage source is 0. Therefore, the voltage source will be deactivated by short circuiting it. Similarly, if we have a current source and we need to deactivate it, we will replace it by its internal resistance. If it is a practical current source, then its internal resistance will be in its parallel. And if it is an ideal current source, then its internal resistance is infinity. So we have to replace the ideal current source by open circuit. Before proceeding, always remember that superposition theorem is applicable only for voltages and current, not for power. What does it mean? If I am supposed in the previous slide, for example, if I have to calculate the I have to calculate the power that is dissipated in resistor R1 when both the sources are present, I cannot calculate the current contributed by E1 and E2 separately and I'll add it. It is not possible. Superposition theorem is only applicable to voltages and currents. Now let us look at the steps which are involved in solving of the superposition theorem. Again, we are taking the same network. Having two sources E1, E2, three resistors R1, R2 and R3. Now since both the sources are there and the resistors are there, we cannot predict the actual direction of current. So what will be our step number one? We'll assume, let suppose, we'll first of all we'll always mark the terminals as alphabetically A, B, C, D, E, F. This is just a marking. It can be anything, any random alphabets. So let us assume that I1 is the current flowing in the resistor R1 from A to B. This is just an assumption of the direction. This is not the actual direction. It is just an assumption that I1 is the current which flows through R1 when both the sources are present from terminal A to terminal B. Similarly, I2 is the current flowing through resistor R2 when both the sources are present from C to B. And lastly, I3 is the current flowing through resistor R3 when both the sources are present from B to A, B to E. So what will be our step number one? Step number one will be whatever is the given circuit, we'll name them alphabetically. All the terminals will name them alphabetically. And next we'll mark the directions of current. The directions of current will be just an assumption. It is not the actual direction of current. We need to find out the actual direction by calculation. So what will be our step number one? It will be just marking of the currents and assumption of their directions. So let us proceed with step number two now. In step number two, we will consider only E1, that is source acting, and E2 will be deactivated. Now, deactivating E2 means replacing it by its internal resistance. Since internal resistance of E2 is not given, we will assume that E2 is a ideal voltage source, and as you know, ideal voltage source internal resistance is 0. Therefore we will short circuit E2. That means here was E2, so this will be short circuited. Rest of the circuit will be drawn as it is. Now, the current flowing through R1 is I1 dash, current flowing to R2 is I2 dash, and current flowing through R3 will be I3 dash. This dash dash indicates that these are the currents flowing when only even source is considered. Now, as we can see from the diagram, that the direction of I1 dash will be from A to B. I3 dash will flow from B to E, and I2 dash will flow from B to C. So by applying KVL or loop analysis, we can easily calculate the values of I1 dash, I2 dash and I3 dash, as well as we don't need to assume the directions. We'll get the actual directions of current since only one source is present. So current will start from here. So I1 dash will flow from A to B. Then this current will split into two parts. So I2 dash will go from B to C and I3 dash will go from B to E. So in step number two, what we have done, we have just what we have done is we have considered E1 to be acting alone and E2 is replaced by its internal resistance. So till now, in the first step, what we have done, we just have assumed the directions of current when both the sources are present. In the second step, we have deactivated E2 and considered E1. So now let us have a look at step number three. Now in step number three, what is done is E2 is activated and E1 is deactivated. Since E1 internal resistance is specified in the problem, it is R1. E1 is not replaced by short circuit, it is replaced by its internal resistance R1. So this becomes the now circuit when E2 is considered. So current will be starting from here. It will come here and then split into two parts. So I2 dash now flows from C to B, I3 dash flows from B to E, and I1 dash flows from B to A. So again, by applying loop analysis, we can calculate the values of I1 dash, I2 dash and I3 dash. So till now, in step number 2 and step number 3, we have calculated the current contributed by the individual sources. But in the numerical, we are asked to calculate the current contributed when both the sources are present. So that we'll be calculating in step number 4. So what is step number 4? See, this is our original circuit. I1, I2 and I3 are the total currents when both these sources are present. I1 dash, I2 dash, I3 dash are the currents when E1 is considered, and I1 double dash, I2 double dash and I3 double dash are the currents when E2 is considered. So in the last step, what we have to do, depending upon the direction of current, either we'll add the currents or subtract. First, let us see about I1. Now, I1 we have considered in the step number 1 that I1 is flowing from A to B. In step number 2, you can see that I1 dash also flows from A to B. So I1 dash will be positive here, and I1 double dash, it flows from B to A. That means it is opposite to the direction we assumed, so its signature, its sign will be negative. So here whatever we answer will be obtained will be the value of I1. Now, in case if the value of I1 comes out to be positive, it indicates that our assumed direction, that is from A to B, is correct. And if it comes out to be negative, it means that the direction that we have assumed is wrong and the actual direction is B to A. Similarly, we can obtain I2 and I3. I2 will be nothing but summation of I2 dash and I2 double dash. We'll again check. I2 we have considered flowing from C to B. I2 dash is flowing opposite. It is flowing B to C. That is why its sign will be negative. And I2 dash is flowing from C to B. That is same as direction of the first. So it will sign will be positive. So whatever is the answer, if the answer of this subtraction comes out to be positive, it means that our I2 is flowing from C to B, or if it comes out to be negative, then it means that our currents flows from B to C. Similarly, we can obtain for I3. So until now, we have seen how to apply the steps of superposition theorem to obtain the total current contributed by both the sources. So now let us proceed with the numericals. Now, the problem given is apply superposition theorem to the circuit shown below to calculate the current flowing in the 10 ohm resistor. So before proceeding, let us see how many sources are there. There are two sources, one 4-volt voltage source, another is 6 volts voltage source, a 2 ohm resistor, a 3 ohm resistor and a 10 ohm resistor. Here we are just supposed to calculate the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor. So let us proceed with step number 1. If you must be remembering, step number 1 will be, we'll just here we are only supposed to calculate the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor. So we'll just mark the terminals of the 10 ohm resistor as A and B. We don't know the actual direction of current, so we will assume a current I to be flowing from A to B when both the sources are present. That is when 4 and 6 volts are present. So our step number 1 will be just assumption of direction of current that will be flowing through the 10 ohm resistor when both the sources are present. Now let us proceed to step number 2. Step number 2 is, let us consider 4 volts voltage source acting alone, and we will deactivate the 6 volts voltage source. Now since the internal resistance of 6 volts voltage source is not given, we will assume that it is an ideal voltage source. Thereby what we will be doing is we will just short circuit the voltage source. So now we have in the circuit 4 volts voltage source, 2 ohm resistor, 3 ohm resistor and 10 ohm resistor. We are interested in calculating the current through the 10 ohm resistor. Here we can simply apply current division rule. According to current division rule, I dash, that is the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor when 4 volts voltage source is considered, will be equal to the total current multiplied by the resistance of the opposite branch upon 3 plus 10, that is 3 plus 10. So in this way, we can find out the value of I dash. But for I dash, first we need to calculate the I total. That is the total current of this circuit. Now the total current of this particular circuit will be what? It will be the total voltage, that is only 4 volts, divided by R total. What is R total? R total will be nothing but 3 in parallel with 10, since these two resistors are connected in parallel, plus the 2 ohm resistor, since the parallel combination will come in series with this. So here we can obtain the I total, that means this current. But here we will not stop, because we are not interested in this current, we are interested in this current. So I dash will be from equation number 1, the total current multiplied by the resistance of the opposite branch upon 10 plus 3. So here the current we obtain is 0.2142 amperes. This is the current when only which source is considered 4 volts. Now let us proceed to step number 3. In step number 3, what we'll do is we'll consider 6 volts voltage source acting alone, and 4 volts voltage source will be deactivated. Again, the internal resistance is not specified, so we'll assume that the 4 volts voltage source is an ideal voltage source. So we'll replace it by short circuit. So this becomes a circuit now. We are interested in the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor. So if the current starts, since this is the source, this is the positive terminal, this is the negative terminal, the current will start flowing from here like this. Then at this point, or this junction, it will split into two parts. One current will go here, one current will go here. And the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor will be called as I double dash, and it will flow from A to B. So now I double dash will be again what? It will be the total current multiplied by the resistance of the opposite branch, means the parallel branch, which is the 2 ohm, upon 10 plus 2. Again in this problem, in this step also current division rule is applied. So first we need to calculate I total. I total will be 6 divided by the resistance of the total circuit. It will be what? 10 in parallel with 2, and the parallel combination in series with the 3 ohm resistor. So here we can obtain I total. After obtaining I total, we'll be obtaining I double dash. Again, I'm summing up. I double dash is the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor when only 6 volts voltage source is considered and 4 volts voltage source is deactivated. How did we mark the direction? We didn't assume, we marked the actual direction. Since this is the positive terminal, current will start from here. After coming at this junction, it will split into two parts, and this current will flow from this A to B. So the direction of I double dash is A to B. Now coming up to the last step, that is step number 4, which will be nothing but the calculation of the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor when both the sources are present. So it will be I dash plus I double dash. It will be plus because both the currents are flowing from A to B, and assumed direction is also A to B. So the current that we are getting is 0.4282. Since the current obtained is positive, that means the assumed direction that we have assumed that the current flows from A to B is correct. So in this way, we have applied superposition theorem to get the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor. Let us proceed to next problem. Now, in this problem, we are supposed to calculate the current flowing in the 2 ohm resistor using superposition theorem. Now, if you see the problem properly, you will see there is one current source and then there is one voltage source here. Current source is of 4 ampere and voltage source is 6 volts comma 1 ohms. Now, what does this 1 ohms indicate? It indicates that the internal resistance of this voltage source is 1 ohm. So, we'll see how to take this 1 ohm into the circuit. Again, first step will be we'll mark the terminals of the 2 ohm resistor as A and B. We'll assume the current as I flowing from A to B. I is the current when both the sources are present. So let us proceed with step number 2. What is step number 2? In step number 2, we will assume that only 4 ampere current source is present and we'll deactivate the 6 volt voltage source. Now by deactivating the 6-volt voltage source, that means we'll replace it with its internal resistance. It is given that its internal resistance is 1 ohm. So rather than short circuiting it, we'll draw a 1 ohm resistor here. So this becomes a circuit now. We are interested in the current flowing through the 2 ohm resistor. So the current will start flowing from here, and after coming at this junction A, it will split into two parts. So the current flowing in the 2 ohm resistor will go from A towards B. So that current will be called as I dash, and I dash will be flowing from A to B. So we have to calculate the value of I dash either by applying KCL or some other technique. Here I have applied current division rule. What is current division rule? What is the total current of the circuit? 4. So it will be 4 multiplied by the resistor of the opposite branch. Now as you can see, 3 and 1, they are series. So it will be 4 upon 4 plus 2. So here I can obtain the value of I dash. I dash is the current flowing through the 2 ohm resistor when only 4 ampere current source is activated and 6 volts voltage source is deactivated. Let us proceed to step number 3. Now in this step, we have considered 6 volts voltage source acting alone and the 4 ampere current source is deactivated. Now deactivated means since in internal resistance is not specified, we will consider it as an ideal current source. Hence we will be open circuiting it and drawing the rest of the circuit as it is. But remember that since the internal resistance of the 6 volts is given in 1 ohms, we'll also consider it in the circuit and draw in series with the 6-volt voltage source. This becomes a circuit now. We are interested in the current flowing through the 2 ohm resistor. So let us mark the direction. This is the positive terminal. So current will start from here. It will go here, and after coming at this point, it will split into two parts. The current flowing through the 2 ohm resistor will be flowing from A to B, and that current we have marked as I double dash. As you can see that this circuit here, it is an open circuit, so no current will be flowing through this 4 ohm resistor. So circuit can be redrawn as will since no current is flowing, there will be no voltage drop, so it can be neglected or it will be removed from the circuit. So the circuit becomes like this: 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 1 ohm, and 6 volts. We are interested in this current. So since it is a single loop circuit, the total current will be the total voltage divided by the total resistance, that is summation of 1 plus 3 plus 2. So here we are getting the value of I double dash. I double dash is the current flowing through the 2 ohm resistor when 6 volts voltage source is considered. So coming to the last step, we will calculate the total current when both the sources are present. It will be I dash plus I double dash. Again, it is coming summation here because I dash is also flowing from A to B and I double dash is also flowing from A to B. The current that we are obtaining is 3.67 amperes. The current is positive. It indicates that the current in the 2 ohm resistor flows from A to B. So, in this lecture, we have studied about how to apply superposition theorem to a network. Superposition theorem is applicable to both DC as well as AC circuit, but we have limited our scope in this lecture to DC circuits. Always remember, superposition theorem can only be applied to calculate voltages and current. It is not applicable for power. Thank you so much.